Arsenal Studio B in Chandler, Arizona, this is MayaCast. Welcome to another edition of MayaCast. I'm your host, Tom Shadle.
And I'm your host, Skip Barcel.
And this is episode 203 for Friday, October 19th, 2018, On the Offensive. Coming up on today's show, we will be discussing Third Offensive Week over at Corvus Belli's YouTube channel and all the information we've learned from those videos. So if you haven't seen or heard, this is Third Offensive Week, and there is no Beasts of War this time. The videos are coming straight from Corvus Belli. The style may seem familiar. And we've gotten 4 videos so far by the time we're recording this.
I think so. I was going to say, it's funny as we're recording on the third day of the Third Offensive
week. It's,
so
ironically, that would be very Toha. If there were any Toha involved in this at all, there are not. Hashtag 3 the Cody. So there's a video out there about the combined army and changes happening to Morats there. And there's a video about Varuna. Or is it just about Pano in general?
It was Pano in general. So Varuna and Mo.
Military orders and Acontecimento.
Both Mo's.
Both Mo's. And there was a video just about the book and the rules therein. And there was a video about Jing and the Invincible Army.
Invincible.
So there will probably be more videos by the time you hear this on Friday. We're recording Wednesday. There might be stuff coming out Thursday and Friday that we're not going to talk about, but we are going to talk about what we've seen and heard so far and what makes us excited. So, the Third Offensive, what is it? It's a new expansion for Infinity the Game. It is a new book that is coming out at the end of November, and the pre-order is happening right now. You can pre-order starting Monday. Right, so starting back on the 15th of October, the pre-order will go through November 5th. So you have a solid couple of weeks in order to get your pre-orders in. And why should you pre-order? Well, because if you pre-order, you get a free miniature, because that's what they like to do with their releases, right? So this is a Libertos, and it is a Helot freedom fighter. The Helots are the fish people indigenous to Varuna that PanOceania has conscripted into their military, and the Libertos are the freedom fighters who don't want to be part of PanOceania and think they are treated like slaves, and so are rebels. And you'll notice that they all have, on the dossier for the Libertos, there's a variety of Jing weaponry on the dossier, because clearly Jing is supporting the freedom fighter movement to try and bring down their longtime rival, PanO.
I think that the model is completely worth the pre-order too, because it's freaking awesome. And I think I like it so much because of the tail. That's a really stupid reason for liking the model, but I just love the tail. Now the profile, because you can use it in every vanilla army.
I wonder if that'll be a separate component, like a piece of tail. And his like velociraptor feet.
Exactly right.
And his goggles are the shape of his eyes, which you think, of course, but it also, you probably wouldn't blink twice if they were just like oval, regular sort of goggles.
No, not at all.
But they went to they thought of that extra step where the goggles are the alien eye shape.
Sick model. Like the model is really cool, and then the profile that we were previewed.
Oh, are we going to jump right to that?
No. That's later. I'm foreshadowing right now.
No, that's
foreshadowing.
Might as well, because we're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
So, Libertos Freedom Fighters, they are available to every generic army except PanO.
Because they hate PanO.
So, all of the vanilla armies, and I'm interested to see if it pops up in any of the NA2, since they are all technically sectorials.
I was hoping that they would end up there, because they are mercenary factions.
Do they all get them or not? They are listed as mercenary troops. That's their troop classification. They are irregular and they have frenzy. So they don't they're not impetuous until they hurt something. Which sidebar, by the way, since last week we were talking about guys that can do multiple classified cards, right? Achilles, terrible data Xenotech escort.
Yeah.
Unless you go ahead and try and place that scanner before you do anything else with Achilles, which is not always possible, as I found out this week, because as soon as Achilles murders something, at the start of your next turn, he becomes impetuous, and then impetuous models can't be synced with a civilian.
No.
So he became impetuous, he's no longer synced, and now your civilian's just kind of stuck out there waiting for somebody else to get in base contact with and sync up with them. So that was awful. The other thing that was awful is instead of winning my game 9-0, I won my game 7-0 because I failed to place that multi-tracker on an 11 or less. And so I did not get my 1 point for placing it, and I lost my point for not placing it. So double punitive action on the multi-scanner, and hate the rule. Okay, so back to our regularly scheduled profile of the Libertos Freedom Fighters, Irregular and Frenzy, right? They have limited camouflage. Cool. They have forward deployment level 2.
So almost infiltration.
They have hyperdynamics level 2, so they get +6 to dodging. That's really good because their physique is only 10.
That's not bad. Dodging on 16s is nice.
So they can actually, dodge.
He was a slippery little fella.
But yeah, I saw hyperdynamics and I was like, ooh, what's their physique? Oh, good thing they have that. And then they have aquatic terrain.
Of course,
they're fish people, and they are dogged.
That's really nice.
So even though they're armor and BTS 0 with only 1 wound, they are dogged. And you have 2 options. One has a submachine gun and chain colt and DEP.
Nice.
He is 0 SWC, and he is 8 points.
Yeah.
Availability 1. Whew. And then the other one is a mine layer. So, of course, has anti-personnel mines, has a chain colt as well, and then swaps the submachine gun for a light shotgun.
Nice.
And he is 1 SWC, because mine layer. And he costs 10 points. Super cheap irregular.
Oh, yeah.
And really cool model. And it's not something that's overwhelmingly powerful for such the cheap cost that it's like an auto include. It's an interesting option to take.
Like if you have the points, like I mean, imagine like when you're like, I have 9 points left. I'll put a flash pull spot in there, and all it's gonna do is stand here, generate an order, and
generate a regular order. That's important.
Yes. Or
one of these guys because it's fun.
Camo. You can take the 8-point guy with the submachine gun, which is shock or AP. It's got, like I said, starts in camo but retains mimetism because ambush camo.
And the limited camouflage, it's going out as a marker if you've already got a faction that has a bunch of other camo markers out there.
I was going to say, wait, limited camouflage, not ambush, right? Because I think I said that wrong. Yes, limited
camouflage.
Yes.
So that marker is out there, and then, I mean, for all they know, that could be a Ariadna scout or a some nomad thing that's a marker that infiltrates.
Don't retain mimetism, though.
No, they do not.
I kept thinking ambush camouflage for some reason.
But I mean, if
limited's cool.
If you're going second, you got all your camo markers out there. They, 8 points is not a lot to make them think it's something important.
No, yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, neato, super cheap, like it.
Yeah, and a 10-point. I mean, the SWC tax is pretty brutal, but to spend 10 points on 2 camo tokens, one which is a mine, to really mess with people's heads. That's not bad at all. And light shotgun, heck yeah, dog. I love shotguns on infiltrating camo guys. Because most of the time they have poor ballistic skill.
11.
Yeah. It's like a Foxtrot Ranger.
Or it's better than a KSO2.
Yeah, totally. I like it.
And so yeah, super cheap. and fun, cool model. Makes sense. It doesn't work for Pano because they're fighting for their freedom against Pano. And it's okay because if you do play Pano, you can still get the model and use it as a Helot.
Yeah, for Varuna or one regular vanilla Pano.
Or assuming they'll also be regular, available to
most likely
vanilla as well. Well, it has been the case that everything's been available in vanilla, right? Mm-hmm. Until the couriers.
Oh, very good point.
The extra tractor mules that Tech gets is not available in regular Ariadna. So we can, for now, just assume that they'll be available in regular Pano.
What's funny is you made the statement of, I wonder if there'll be an NA2, and I was like, I hope so. That was me popping my Tums across the table. Going back through, I think the only ones that you might be seeing these in would be either Drew's or Ikari. Because like Drew's has La Muette available to that, like the Drew's NA2 army. And then Ikari has like Cube Jaegers, Krakats, La Muette. So it looks like they get some of those mercenary troops. Mm-hmm. But Starco and JSA didn't. And if they work for you, Ching, they probably don't like JSA too much.
I mean, we will see where they show up. We definitely know that they're available in all vanilla main factions. Yeah. So what else is in the third offensive book? We have the Varuna Immediate Reaction Division. We have Aleph Operations. We have the Tartary Armored Corps. The Invincible Army, and New Rules.
Of the week. Sorry.
And so there's a little contest going on. If you use hashtag third offensive, and that's 3RD offensive, not the word third spelled out, but 3RD, hashtag third offensive on Twitter or Facebook, or if you comment on the YouTube videos that they're putting out, you have a chance to win one of 3 copies of Operation Cold Front.
Which is not bad. I would like to win a second one.
So
doubling up on a lot of those in that box is
go get
nice.
in on that contest. Go check out the videos if you haven't seen them. So this is the story of Campaign Paradiso. This book is not called Campaign Paradiso. There is no campaign in it. But the third offensive does refer to what's happening on Paradiso. In the original Campaign Paradiso, it talked about the first offensive and the second offensive when humanity first makes contact with aliens. It's the combined army. They found out that humanity found these ancient alien ruins that they were interested in, invaded the planet, and the first offensive shows them pushing into the 2 continents, Australia and Septentria. And then the second offensive, they move further. Well, this is the third offensive. They move even further inland on the 2 continents, and it furthers the story. Where everything before was, well, really everything before Uprising was, this is the history of our universe, and it's sort of been there for 10 years, sort of the same, and there haven't been really any developments since the original Campaign Paradiso that really delved into what's been going on and was alluded to in the original rule books. This is actually happening, air quotes, now.
Yeah.
And so it's furthering the story and talks about the new combined army attacks upon humanity in Paradiso. So, story moving forward, just like we saw in the Uprising book, where it's instead of 175 years into the future, we are now 178 years into the future.
I think that was my favorite thing that he said about that is, because especially when you get into it new, it's all new to you, and then we had all these lore books, and you kind of feel like, you're in it, but I like how Carlos said, really put attention as like, hey, everything that you've read was the past. And it took this long to get to where we are now in the game, and now it's a fun time to be part of the game because as players we're going to be evolving with the story, whereas everything pre-Uprising we were basically just playing history lessons, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now we're like in it to win it. Which is really cool.
Yeah, so speaking of Uprising and continuing the story, this book will be very much like Uprising, a hardback book with 192 pages and no profiles in it, just like Uprising. The profiles will go directly to the Army app, and when they hit the app, it will be live. It will be live, and some of, I believe the Montesa Biker Nights are already up there on Army. I think a lot of the changes will happen on Army once the book is actually released around the end of November. So the book will have a whole bunch of lore moving the story forward. It'll have the sectorial charts for all the new sectorials and revamps of some old sectorial charts. And it will have, and by sectorial charts, like what you can take in the sectorial, but also the fire team options and how they've changed. A lot more mixed fire teams coming up, and new rules as well. So, yeah. Third Offensive seems like a cool book. Pre-order it so you get your mini. And, yes, your stores, if they pre-order it from their distributor, they will get the miniature with the book, just like all the past releases. So you can pre-order it through your local store. You don't have to go through Corvus Belli directly. You can pre-order it through your normal channels. And, of course, we always advocate supporting your local store where you use their energy, their power, their space, their rent. You use all of their resources to play your games at. So please, pay for your rental time by supporting them. And they can definitely do the pre-order, and you'll get the miniature with it. The updated Paradiso story also adds in background and events that happened in the Wotan campaign and the Flame Strike campaign, the tagline events. All of that lore gets compiled into the story, and you can see how it affects everything. So people that were really into the online campaigns and contributed will see the fruits of their labor rewarded, as it is now part of, it's going to be an official publication, and you might see your name in lights. So very, very cool stuff. Some people will be very pleasantly surprised as they see their efforts in those campaigns rewarded and recognized. All right, so new rules. We've got some new rules, and we don't have all of the full written rules. You have to wait and get the book to see all of those. But Carlos did talk about them on the video. We start with NCO.
Nico.
Non-commissioned officer. A model that has NCO may spend the lieutenant order as a regular order, even though they're not the lieutenant.
That's freaking awesome.
And so it'll be very cool to see. Since it says as a regular order, you would assume that a NCO model in a fire team, he's not spending a lieutenant order.
Oh, that's a good point.
Again, we're trying to parse rules out of what Carlos said, which may not be the best idea. But if just taking him at his word, right? He can spend the lieutenant order as a regular order. You would think that an NCO in a fire team would be able to use that as a regular order. It doesn't break him out of the fire team because
it's a regular
order. Yeah. So hopefully that's how that works.
That would be amazing, especially with I think we might have even touched on that when we were going over profiles in OSS, with that new Lieutenant 2 option where they have 2 of them on there.
Yeah.
That's if it works that way, which I hope it does. That's amazing, scary, amazing.
Limited strategos, right? Like this one guy can use it as a regular order, and so hopefully it'll make these expensive armies like OSS and Invincible Army a little more efficient,
feasible. Yeah,
dude, Cascood is back,
right? Okay, so when he flashed that. When he flashed that
I missed that video.
When he flashed that profile at me,
I was on YouTube, not RedTube.
Yeah, I know, right? So I freaked out. I was like, "No way!" I hope it works like that because that's pretty awesome. The Explode level X.
Explode level X. If you AD combat jump in, you explode when you land. You don't explode, but you place a circular template centered on your model, and anybody it touches will take damage.
I saw a perfect GIF for this.
Okay.
Like GIF, not gift. Not like I gave you a GIF.
A GIF.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
GIF's peanut butter, but okay.
I was going to say, yeah, that's what cheesy moms choose. So somebody had threw on the end scene, like that battle in Thor Ragnarok when he's like, "What are you?" And he finally like becomes Raiden, and he's like, and he comes flying in, and when he lands in the, he's gonna do a superhero landing. He's gonna do a superhero landing.
You're right.
And he does the superhero landing. So bad on your knees, and then all the lightning explodes around him, and like all the people fly, and I was like, that's Explode Level X. So it's like you could imagine as like a huge air burst, like they have afterburners coming out like Iron Man. It's like and it blows away the But I would prefer like this huge electrical discharge.
Well, I think Lu Jing,
that's
the troop.
Like, what?
I think Lu Jing, or Lu Zing, whatever. Lu Qing, the troop type that has this, the new heavy infantry jump troop for the Invincible Army that has it. I think that means meteorite.
Oh, there you go.
So that makes a lot of sense.
That's pretty awesome.
So,
Leave a little crater in their wake.
Boom.
Yeah.
Better than a Cascuda because the Cascuda's base is much bigger.
Right.
So now with a 25 millimeter base, you have lots more explodey rage death.
Especially
to
with
inflict.
season 10, with the way they land.
So take your Lu Jing and take an Evo repeater and profit.
Right.
Decoy. He said it's 2 static markers, kind of like holo projector.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
So I imagine I have like holo 1 and holo 2, but they can't move anywhere.
Okay, so it's basically only for deployment then. So that's interesting. I could see that. If you said they're static, it's like you deploy, only one of them's the right one, but as soon as you do anything, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the right one.
Tactical sense.
That was really, really interesting.
He says some of your favorite classic troops are going to get this rule, so I don't know who it's going to affect, but tactical sense basically means that trooper, no matter what kind they are, whether they're regular or irregular or whatever, they get an extra irregular order that they can only use on themselves.
That's
Right?
why I said that was interesting.
So the picture was a Syriac
That's why I said this is very interesting.
when he was talking about it. So you imagine your Syriac's bringing its regular order, goes into the order pool, but then also has an irregular order that he can only spend on himself. I bet you it's like the data tracker.
Yeah.
In the certain missions where the data tracker gets that extra order, I bet you it's like that where you can't spend a command token to change it or whatever.
Exactly.
He has to use it himself.
Which is why I think it was interesting when we get into the Morats sections with some of the other changes they did on those.
But again, if the Syriac's in a fire team, he won't be able to spend that irregular order.
That's why I'm like, that's an interesting profile to put it on.
And you can't, right? But if the Syriac's not in a fire team. Anyway, and B, this is another one of those things that can make, and again, we don't know who it's going on, but it can make armies like the Invincible Army a little more efficient because they get these free extra orders from the sky on models that you want to spend orders on anyway. So, which is always, irregular orders. Is it a negative because it doesn't go to your pool? Well, no, I want to spend orders on that model anyway. Right? That's the silver lining of an irregular
it's
order.
an extra order that's not impetuous.
Usually
awesome.
it's not. Usually it's not extra. In this case, it is. So, wild parrots.
All right, that one's got me highly, highly intrigued.
So
Scared.
he said it's a 8-inch deployment that deploys like a fast panda, right? And that creates an EM damage small template. So it sounds like a fast panda type of thing. That you send out 8 inches like a fast panda, and then it's basically an e-mauler.
That's what it sounded like on the video, which is disgusting because if that's how it works, it's better than drop bears in mines because they just go where you want them to go.
Right, no roll.
And land. Now, if it is like a fast panda, then they probably only have like one instead of at 3, like most
sure.
disposables, which in this case, I could see being like max 2 on a person that you actually have to pay the points for. Would be a balance if it's like Fast Pandas, because that is nasty, man. Do you like a flock of parrots? Like if you have more than one, that's disgusting.
If
party up in
and
here.
if it's like a Fast Panda, where as in the model will come with the model plus a wild parrot model, I cannot wait to see a mechanized infinity parrot.
Right?
Give me all the mechanized infinity parrots. I want a bag of 8 of them. Every Yan's gonna get one on his shoulder.
Right? Gotta paint him like Iago.
I believe we saw this when Tunguska came out, but the Zapper
Yeah.
is a new weapon. It's a small teardrop EM2 damage.
Yeah, Mary Problems has it, and it's pretty awesome.
But the new thing that I was going to say let slip. I'm sure he knows exactly what he was saying. But he said, for example, the Squallow will have this.
What?
So, hey, Squallow, you just got better.
Yeah.
So cool, new template. Lieutenant level 2.
We've seen that in the...
Yeah, Lieutenant
OSS.
gets 2 Lieutenant orders. One's just not enough. We're talking about it with the Asuras in OSS. Yeah, Libertos we already talked about. So cool. So those are the new rules and weapons and things that he talked about.
Super exciting.
Then we get into the Pano video. And it starts with the shock army of Acontecimento. As you know, there are discontinued references that will go out of production. So if you want any of the old Acontecimento models, and like you said, some not so old,
right?
Get them now before they go out of production. And it's a whole rotating stock thing, right? Like we are going to produce this many SKUs at one time. When we come out with new sectorials like TAC and OSS and Varuna, and we have to stop production on the same number of models that we plan on producing, right? So, but that does not do anything to their viability as an army in ITS. They are still legal. They're still on army. You can still play with them if you already have them, continue to use them. You just won't be able to get the new ones anytime you want.
After a certain amount, after they're sold out.
After the natural distribution chain dries up.
To me, it makes sense though, because like it really only affects like newer players or like fairly new players. Like I've wanted to start Acontecimento since 2012, and I still haven't bought the models. So like for somebody like me, if you really want to do it, get off the pot and go buy them. But if it's an army that I was really into when it came out, like US Ariadne, if they discontinued and updated US Ariadne right now, I'd be ecstatic because I want all the new awesome fire teams that they go along with that, and I don't need to buy any new models. You know what I mean? Like I have collected everything for it. So I think that's with a game like this, like I could see how people would get frustrating if they're like, they're discontinuing. No, the army's still viable, like we said. But if you've been waiting to collect it, it's like, yeah, now's the time. If for some reason life events happen and you just don't have the funds and you miss out on it, it could be a little disheartening, but there's proxy rules that you can do, and you can paint it up like a mercenary force and use the rules for Acontecimento, and that's perfectly fine, especially once they're discontinued, because that's how the proxy rules work. So no need to get worked up about it.
And plenty of advance notice. Like if you've always wanted a Dragao tag, they've given you, they give you 2 months heads up to go out and pick up that box if you want it. And then the good news is somewhere down the road, that means we're going to get a brand new Dragao sculpt.
Yep.
Which is fantastic, and hopefully it won't have the ridiculous
Yeah, I know, right?
belt of ammo that is not only very difficult.
I remember when it first came out, I thought it was so cool, and now it is very dated.
It's not only very
dated.
difficult to build and bend without breaking to get it into the right shape. It's also difficult to transport. It's very impractical.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll engineer that up for the reboot whenever that might happen. Anyway, Acontecimento Shock Army. They make up most of the Paradiso Green A combat group. Mm-hmm. The Green A combat group is on the Norstralia continent in the North Central Front, very specific.
Okay.
And they are now facing, in our ongoing fluff, the largest combined army offensive ever. Right?
Okay.
And so, kind of like Merovingia, they're getting their little
tails kicked in,
their swan song thing here, right? So there are going to be 3 missions, and they might have come out. They were supposed to come out.
I
haven't looked.
You know what's funny is right when I left work today, and I brought up Facebook before we started to do this, I could have swore I saw it drop right as I was leaving work and texting you that I was on my way to dinner.
There are 3 missions that you can play to recreate this, kind of like Merovingia got when they ceased production on those models. And it's Nav Guide, where you have to establish a safe bridge from this city of Runenburg that the Shock Army is trying to protect and evacuate as the combined army invades. Establish a safe bridge from Runenburg to your allied forces. And then in Jungle Trail, Acontecimento is trying to keep open the secondary routes through the jungle to Runenburg, again, so they can evacuate and keep the populace safe. And then Green Hell. And Green Hell is controlling the jungle terrain surrounding Runenburg. And Runenburg must be protected and evacuated at all costs. And so that's what's going on with the Acon Shock Army. Montesa Knights went through a change of leadership, and their new Grand Master, or whatever it's called, probably not that, has decided to update their operating philosophy. Mm-hmm. And so they have ditched the bulky transports that couldn't really get them where they needed to go in the jungle, and instead have opted for bikes. And so now Montesa Knights are bike riders. Pano gets its first bikes. And it makes total sense to me because Return of the Jedi and Endor and speeder bikes is
right.
Like, I hope they float. I hope there's repulsor technology and they float.
When I was a kid, that was like my favorite noise ever.
But yeah, Montesa Knights totally changed. All the old profiles are gone, so your mechanized deployment is gone. Your that midfield light grenade launcher that would hide prone on a rooftop and use its high ballistic skill to lob grenades on things without ever having fear of retaliation, that is also gone. And so now you get these motorcycle profiles for the Montesa Knights, and there are 3 profiles. The medikit one, right? So one is a paramedic.
Yeah, paramedic.
Because it has a medikit. That's only available in the sectorial armies of PanOceania. Varuna, Acontecimento, military orders. I don't think it said NCA. So sorry, NCA. But the other 3 sectorials. And not in vanilla. And the medic is armed with a boarding shotgun and chain colt. Double action close combat weapon, that's important. It's 39 points, but it's still a Knight of Montesa. It's armor 4 and 2 wounds, but it's on an 8-4 platform. It's got a motorcycle. Right. And mimetism, kind of like the JSA bikes have, because we're not going to give Pano an overabundance of smoke, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so mimetism, so even though you can't get cover with them because they're on a motorcycle, you still get the -3 to be shot at because of the mimetism. Regular impetuous, so you don't have to run out and get yourself killed if you don't want to, but it is an extra order to move 12 inches closer to, say, the AC2 unit.
Yeah, let's say AC2 because of double action.
This is instantly the best option to destroy the AC2 for Acontecimento.
Right.
It's fast, it's survivable, it's physique 13, martial arts level 2 with a double action close combat weapon. And these guys are super rad. I cannot wait to see a model. Multi-rifle,
I love that you just said that they were super rad.
Super rad, bro.
Because that was another song by the Aquabats. Remember when I was joking about names for this show? But it's the return of the super rad.
Echo Bravo. Favorite band's the Aquabats.
I love the Aquabats.
He looks like Batman. And he's from Varuna.
Perfect. Way to segue.
Knight of Montesa multi-rifle chain cold is 42 points. And then the boarding shotgun chain colt that's not a paramedic is 37. And or at least on the picture I have. Is that what it is on Army right now?
Yeah, I have it up. You said the non-paramedic 37 points.
Yep.
And then paramedic, you get 2 points for being a specialist and paramedic.
Whip 13, 8-4 specialist. I love these profiles. So,
Arm 4, wounds 2.
you may be saying,
What?
yeah, but what about all my old models? I have old Knights of Montesa. Well, if you got the old ones, they're not great anyway. And then the one that came in the
new starter box.
Right, so it's super updated, but it has a Spitfire, and there is no Spitfire. Just use it as the dismount, and there's no Spitfire. Well, you can still use it as a dismount.
Yeah, you can.
Right? You can also, for now, make a 40 millimeter motorcycle token or a 55 millimeter motorcycle token.
I love that they actually put that on their Facebook.
And plop them on that. Or the details in the shoulder pads that indicate his knightly orderedness is not sculpted in. So
he can be whatever knight you want.
Yeah, like a Knight of the Holy Sepulchre has a Spitfire option. How about that? Because that model's old.
Yeah, that's actually...
And the one from the Acon starter is sweet. So use him, paint it, give him a purple tabard, put the Sepulchre logo on the shoulder, and Bob is your mother's brother. And, or you could use him as a Deferson with helmet on because he has a Spitfire and he's a knight, right?
That's actually not a bad idea.
Father Knights have a Spitfire, don't they? Look that up quick.
I believe so. I'll be there in 2 seconds.
Use him as Father Knight. So there are many things that he can be, especially, if you have the newer ones. The other one, just paint them different, and all of a sudden they're a different knightly order.
Yes, Father Knight.
And let's be real here. Y'all got closets or drawers or shelves full of models you ain't using.
I know I do.
Like,
I know I do.
like hashtag real talk.
I know I do.
Right?
Faux show.
Anyway.
I have to hide them from my wife.
So complete revamp.
So she's like, you don't need all these. Find very intriguing ways to hide them in shelves.
Oh, yeah, because on the video, the multi-rifle was 40 points, and on Army, he's 42.
Ah, there you go.
So it's like it's 2 points more expensive now that it's live and for real. But yeah, Armor 4-2 Wound 8-4 model that can choose to be impetuous or not use that extra order, who is also regular.
Way better, man. I actually like that way
Mimetism?
better, yeah. Because you get, like I said, the Mimetism and the 8-4 move. Prefer that. I know most people be like, well,
Seems so fun.
Oh, yeah.
It just seems so fun.
Man, I get stoked for a freaking Maverick in US that's only 1 wound in Armor 3. Although these bikes don't have smoke grenades because apparently Pano's like, smoke, that's so archaic. We're too good for smoke.
Well,
but
the soot messes up that nice blue
right?
color they have going on.
But yeah, the quickness of it, and I mean, yeah, your silhouette's a lot bigger. But you can always dismount once you get to where you need to go. But being able to move the full 12 inches, you're basically getting to move, like you're basically getting to move, shoot compared to the old one. Because it's like move 8 inches and then fire.
Are you on Army right now?
Yeah.
Is availability still 1 for military orders?
I'm actually in Acon, and it's availability 1, and I'm pretty sure it's going to stay the same. Hold on, I'm trying to go over to military orders, but sometimes...
Regardless, that is one fun model. I cannot wait to try it now that it's a thing.
AVA 1 as of now in military orders.
Honestly, not sad to see the light grenade launcher go away.
I know, right?
I'm just sitting up here lobbing grenades and screw you. Yeah. So let's talk about availabilities with the new...
It's going to be 1 as well.
Yeah, let's talk about the new sectorial chart. Order sergeants are total. Weren't they 6 before?
Military orders? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were. Actually, I have it up, so guess what? I believe that... I'm going to say yes. They were 6.
Yeah. There's a distinct lack of fusiliers now, isn't there?
Whoa, you know what's funny is, wait, no. Did you say order sergeants?
Order sergeants.
Yeah, they're still total. Still total right now on Army. Because I thought that
Army obviously got updated because Montesas have bikes.
Oh, that's true. They did this.
Maybe order sergeants were total. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But
order sergeants are total. Corps and special fire teams. No fusiliers.
And fusiliers are still on there now. So
in Army?
Yeah, in military orders hasn't updated to the new book yet and probably won't until it releases in November.
And honestly, we don't, because Army is the final arbiter, right? We don't know. This sectorial chart could be inaccurate and fusiliers should have made it and got left out. We don't know. But as of right now, there no more fusiliers in military orders. Instead, use the +1 whip order sergeants.
Yeah, exactly right.
Take 2 Blackfriars, 4 Crusader Brethren. I don't know why you'd want 4 orders off the board. Anyway, in what can be a really expensive faction, Father Knights with duo and special fire team options.
I was just going to say that's the most interesting thing on this chart is those Blackfriars have special as well.
I'm going to stop just reading this chart. What's interesting to me is that there's no mention of choosing a military order and then right? And like choose your order knights and then everybody else is a confrere knight. This just has straight up availabilities for the different knightly orders, and there are different like core, special, Harry's, duo options for all the different orders, including the heretofore unlinkable Teutonic Knights, who are now listed as core, Harry's, and special. I don't know how their core, Harry's, are special because we don't have the fire team charts.
Yeah, it just shows it on the side.
We just know that that it's going to happen, and when it happens, it's going to be amazing because nobody was taking Teutonic Knights. They couldn't form a fire team. And so maybe this will be a way to bring them back.
I love that you caught that too.
In the fold.
Because military orders was one of my original, like, oh, that seems so cool. But Allure took me elsewhere. And I always thought that it was extremely confusing with the confreres. And this is how you got to do this. You have to choose an order. It was just like one of those ones. It's like most of the time you want to tell people what they can do and reduce what they can't, when building something new and exciting. So the fact that you caught that I thought was pretty dang amazing because I didn't realize that up front because I get all excited about what has duo label? What does have special label? I don't know how we
pivoted from we were on the Acon video and we pivoted straight to the military orders, but hey, we're here now, so we're doing military order stuff.
It was the Montesa because we went to Montesa.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Pivot. So they get Dart. Military orders gets Dart, which is cool. Camo. Hey, awesome. Camo marker. And but you're gonna know exactly what it is. They also get the Teak Belong. They used to only have a Seraph, and now they have access to a Teak Belong. That's amazing. New Santiago profile. I don't think we've seen the profile. He just said there'd be a new profile, right? But he did say it's going to be a wild card, meaning Santiago Knights will be able to join any fire team.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
And didn't he mention there's a killer hacker?
I believe so.
Profile for the Knights of Santiago. So can't wait to see is it new on Army yet?
No. I'm on there.
Still the old Santiagos?
Still the old Santiagos.
Hospital Knights got a point reduction across the board because they needed it. And the Harry's option is a doctor. Yeah,
that was like the coolest thing.
Because you want to take the doctor anyway because it's a specialist.
That's the hardest thing about taking a Harry's team.
And having to take the Harry's guy that doesn't do anything.
The Harry's guy.
Except he's the guy that communicates emails, I guess, to keep the team together.
He's like Grimesy in Black Hawk Down. I have a rare and unusual ability that keeps me out of fighting. He's like, typing? Yeah, can you type?
So yeah, the Harry's guy. Option. The Harry's is a doctor, which makes him doubly useful, which is awesome. Yeah, man. Let's bring a Teak belong in military. You don't like the Seraph, which you could have 2 of? Okay, well you can have 1 Teak belong, so that's cool. And getting Dart just out of nowhere.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. The one Aleph, it's like, hey, well, we kind of work with Aleph, so that's cool. The way that they're doing all these special things, I think, is a huge dynamic. And I'll circle back to Acon because we kind of went from Montesa.
Back to Acon.
With the upgrade that they had, I was telling Tom earlier, I've enjoyed Acon over the years. I've always been intrigued by it. But with the way that they're doing all of the new fire teams and the specials and this wild card ability, it's really cool because you can have a faction and it doesn't always have to be the same loadout. It's going to vary from player to player. Acon is a perfect example. With this new upgrade, they can have, like orcs that can join any fire team, and Stephen Rao can join any fire team. So now you have, instead of facing Acon, you're like, oh, where's your Bagmari core or your regular core? Now you can have all these different mix and matches because of the special rules that allow like any member to join a fire team, specifically like the orcs and Stephen Rao. And I just think that's super cool because you can have 3 Acontecimento players of 3 different styles of play, and you're not going to face the same army. Whereas before, if you were going to go up against Acontecimento, it's pretty predictable. Like you're
either fighting the fire team of regulars, the sap snipers probably, or you're fighting the fire team of Bagmari.
Yeah, but now it's like, so up to 2 Bagmari can join any core fire team. And then Stephen Rao is a wild card, so he can join any fire team. And then the orcs, it's up to 1 orc can join any fire team core of regulars. So you have some really cool options there, which completely, I feel, makes for an entirely new style of play for Acontecimento, which is really, really neat. And then the freaking Mechanist gets an SA
Machinist?
Machinist, yeah. What did I say, Mechanist? Yeah, the Machinist gets a new option that can join any Bagmari teams, whether it's a core or a Haris too. So was talking to our friend Tim about that. He's like, yeah, it's so sweet to know your bulleteers, your peacemakers that are all out there doing stuff, and you can roll your Haris team in with a Machinist and fix them. Because he's not just hiding in the back. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things that add new flavor and options.
So there's 2 Machinist profiles now, the regular 15-pointer, right? And then the Shock Army of Acontecimento version that has Mimetism and Multi-Terrain, which is how he can keep up with the Bagmari.
Exactly, right.
He's 18 points instead of 15. 3 points for Mimetism, sure, take it.
And Multi-Terrain.
And the Machinists are now availability 2. As far as fixing the Pathfinder, I'm still probably using my non-fire team Machinist and his PAL bots.
Well, there you go, yes.
Having the PAL bots roll up to go do it. But, yeah, the extra engineer, super valuable. And can core with Bagmari, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the options it's a completely different
and then your
build style.
Like you said, the ballistic skills 17 orc HMG who's leading that Bagmari team.
Right. Or leading your core team, because with the way the specials go, you can have up to 2 Bagmari that can join a core team, and then an orc. Of
regulars, you mean?
I mean, yeah.
Because Bagmari can also be a core team.
For regulars, and then up to 1 orc. So you technically could run 2 Bagmari, an orc, and then 2 regulars. And now it keeps cost low, but you still have your ballistic skill 17 orc, and and then your 15 Bagmaris as usuals, and then your backup 15 regulars for whatever they have to go. I was messing around with it today, and it makes me want to play a lot more than the old way. Like, I didn't want to pick them up in the past because it's like, man, it's too similar to this army or it's too similar to that army. There's just a couple of things that are different. So with the switches and the specials, it makes it something completely unique, and actually the allure is a lot higher now.
Kirbal Singh, still terrible.
I know, right? I didn't even look at that profile.
But yeah, Acontecimento changes are live right now, and so you can go to Army and check them out. Yay! Ballistic Skill 17 Orc HMG.
It's so... it's like a cheap Joan Pain Train, man. But only one of them gets that. It's not the whole thing. But yeah, it's the budget price Joan Pain Train.
All right, so Acontecimento. And then let's move on to the rest of Pano. Since we already started talking about military orders, we might as well finish by talking about the rest of Pano. And up first, of course, are the Varuna Snake Eaters. So the Varuna Immediate Reaction Division, the Snake Eaters, let's talk about their starter box that is going to come out because we got to see it on the videos. You get 3 Kamau.
Come on, man.
And you get the sniper, the heavy rocket launcher, and a combi rifle. And then
again, it was the sniper,
heavy rocket launcher, and combi rifle.
And combi rifle.
And then in the Beyond Cold Front, the Beyond Ice Storm box, there's the Kamau with heavy machine gun, right?
I think so.
So you'll have your weapon options.
Yeah.
Crocman Hacker, and which is, in my experience, the most taken Crocman, and the one they didn't have a model for ever since Surfboard Man.
Surfboard guy.
You get an Orc with Feuerbach.
So another SWC.
Which turns out is just a really long combi rifle. A Zulu Cobra with tactical poncho and Spitfire.
So another SWC.
And yeah, that's your 6 models in the 3 Kamau, Crocman Hacker, or yeah, it's like 7 SWC.
Yeah, I was to say, so you have 6 models and 4 armed with weapons that cost SWC.
And the Hacker is 0.5.
That's true. So the only thing in that box that is a 0 SWC, well, unless it's a killer hacker, or is it only a hacker option? I don't know, because I don't have the list. So I don't know if they get that option. But that's just funny. That is like the support weapon cost starter box, man. Super cool, though.
It is all of the things. So that's what comes in the starter. And if you watch the video, you get to see the starter. We've seen the renders and we've seen the dossier photo, right? But if you watch the video, they actually had it painted.
It looks so good. Oh, my goodness.
Zulu Cobra, right? This is the tactical poncho guy. We've got his profile from the video, and he is light infantry, has forward deployment level 1, and he is camouflaged. It's regular camo.
That's good.
It's Pano.
That's good.
The regular camo.
Regular, not TO.
Regular freaking camo in Pano. And
Pano camo.
yeah, so they're a ballistic skill 13, whip 13 unit. Only armor 1 and 1 wound, but they have camo.
But I like that they're 13. And I loved the so I don't have the painted models in front of me, but I loved the dossier with that like mean, nasty skull, and the way he was saying that
the helmet that doesn't protect his head.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's got a mask on.
Yeah, but the fact that they're supposed to paint those like tribal, because aren't they like a mix between Australian and Indian culture? I believe he said something along those lines. And so when they showed the mask, it was like, this one has a skull, but sometimes they do the tribal thing. And I really like that because there's a lot of really cool, like smooth designs in Infinity, especially in these tech factions like Pano. And I'd like to see more stuff like that, like the orcs with actual like face paint on there, like the white hand of Saruman on there. Because like I'm gonna digress for a minute and jump tracks. Like on my Druze, I was like, hey, they're all kind of like almost clannish because they're supposed to be part of these big gangs. So I started doing like those like tribal dots and little lines, and they look super cool because they have these long, smooth helmets, and I think they look boring when they're just one color. So I wanted to make mine more. I'm like, oh, they started out guarding the space elevators in Africa. Like maybe they incorporate some of that really cool culture in there and do some decorative dots or whatever. They're from that region of the country, so why not, right? So the fact that he was saying that this is a thing that they do even in the lore, I really would like to see more of that across the board when seeing more, when Varuna starts popping up everywhere. Like, be creative with those, like make up your own. But yeah, this is why they paint their masks this way. It's super cool.
The first profile, the first loadout in the profile, 29 points, no SWC. He's got a combi rifle. He's got sensor.
That's amazing.
He has a jammer.
That's even better. What?
It's whip 13 jammer, but he's still got a jammer. And so...
Oh, my Zulu jammer, man. Oh, my Zulu jammer.
Seeing those jammers pop up. He can be your lieutenant for the same price in Varuna, but he will cost you 1 SWC to be your lieutenant in vanilla.
Oh, but he's 0 in Varuna.
The Spitfire that comes in the box is 1.5 SWC and costs 28 points. So forward deploying Spitfire with camouflage.
That is on ballistic skill 13. That's not bad at all.
There is a hacker version with a killer hacking device, so no SWC. Woo! He's 28 points. Forward observer, so another specialist. Combi breaker rifle on both the killer hacker and the forward observer. The specialist comes with combi breakers.
I actually like that way better because that BTS, especially against like Hawk or Ariadne, that's killer, man.
Forward observer is 26 points. And then the shock marksman rifle.
Which, I was like, that's not bad at all either.
+3 from 8 to 24.
Yep.
With shock ammo. He's only 25 points. He's the cheapest of the Zulu Cobras.
What?
And he comes complete with an X visor.
No way.
Yes way.
That's a brutal firing platform with the X visor. I missed that on the video on that profile. I should have paused that screen because you know what I was more enamored by was the sensor one. I'm like, oh man, sensor and jammer. I gotta take at least one of those.
Well, I really like shock marksman because he has forward deployment. So he's getting to the middle more efficiently. He has camouflage. He has a shock marksman rifle. You can suppression fire him. So cover, camo, suppression. You're throwing out a -9, right?
And you're always at 0.
And you have an X visor, so you don't take the -3 range band for suppression.
From 16 to 24. That's so good.
So that's a good use of your availability 1 in vanilla. In Varuna itself, availability 3, boy.
Yeah. So I know you're going to see a lot of those sensors going around though, man. Like that is with all the camo that's out there, especially with TAC hitting the board now, and everybody's like, oh, look at all my camo. I mean, it's been a theme with Ariadne for years. You're like, yo, dog, not only can I censor you, but I can jam you. That's even worse. Nowhere to run with you, baby.
Well,
nowhere to hide.
Echo Bravo. Because of the black mask and the little fins on his ears, he looks like Batman. So Echo Batman Ready Reaction Unit is an airborne. So he's got like the Pano jump pack, and I kind of assumed up until the video came out that showed us the profile that he was going to be 80 combat jump. He has 80 airborne infiltration.
So it's like a less one. It has less gas in it.
So on Zulu Cobra, we got regular camo. Now we get airborne infiltration. We're getting all the Ariadne skills
Right?
in Pano. However, he also has 4-4 move instead of 4-2. Like a lot of these medium infantry jump troops. This is a light infantry, and 90% of the time
You're walking on anyway.
you're walking on anyway, so you
Yeah.
don't have to make the roll. If you wanted to make a roll, he's physique 11, but he's airborne infiltration, so you don't
it
even have to
doesn't
worry
matter.
about
Yeah.
it. He has aquatic terrain because
Of
it's
course.
Varuna,
Yeah.
and they're all SWC. Everything costs SWC, and 0.5 SWC, 25 points is the cheapest, and that comes with a boarding shotgun,
Okay.
which is useful on a jump troop, and also a light rocket launcher.
Wait, on the boarding shotgun?
Boarding shotgun, light
Okay.
rocket launcher.
Okay.
It's
okay.
such a good combination. Love it.
You're like, hey, you got light rocket launchers? Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's an inside joke. Bad for radio. Salesforce.
And Echo Bravo Red Fury
Okay.
is a full SWC, 25 points as well.
Man, I think I like the shotgun light rocket over Red Fury. I mean, Red Furies are cool and all, but I get lots of dice.
So
But fire and then +6.
remember the starter box, everything was SWC. Now this guy, all 4 profiles cost SWC. SWC is going to be a problem. They better have one of those lieutenants that subtracts
Right? Or adds, or did they either way you look at it? Yeah.
Combi rifle, light shotgun, paramedic.
Dang, I like
so,
that.
specialist that can walk on from any board edge, just not in your enemy's deployment zone, except in firefight.
Yeah, firefight. They're Van Zant, man.
But
these
yeah,
guys are going to be
Paramedic
killer.
can walk in to do specialist things with his combi rifle and light shotgun, and this is the guy that has the wild parrot.
Oh man. If this does what I think it does, if this rule does what I think you think it does,
Yeah.
that's disgusting.
So you walk up along the side of that building where nobody can see you. You shoot out your wild parrot 8 inches where it can tag all of the heavy infantry in that Invincible Army fire team. And then you come around the corner with your light shotgun.
You're like, are you going to dodge or you going to shoot back? Because you're going to get hit either way. Oh, man, I love that trick.
And a lot of those Jing quote-unquote heavy infantry have armor 3. So anyway, not as tough as... Anyway, 0.5 SWC, 27 points for that paramedic. The other specialist is an assault hacker who is 0.5 and 27 as well. He just has a combi rifle and a DEP.
Oh, only a DEP?
So
That you can walk on in Tag's back arc and shoot them with it. Oh, man.
Wild Parrots notwithstanding, I believe my favorite is probably boarding shotgun and light rocket launcher.
Yeah, especially for since it's infiltrating. If it was a absolutely combat jump troop, well, I think Wild Parrot's first, but having to get where you need to go, because sometimes those guys are in the center. A lot of orders to get there with the range bands of it's boarding shotgun, right? So you don't have to choose the template. Boarding and light rocket launcher. I am going to agree with you. My favorite in theory, because you get to choose between templates or non-templates, and you have all your range bands covered. You have from 0 to 24 inches covered at +3, which is nice.
+6.
Well, I mean, +6, never mind. My bad. In good range, I should say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, +6 to 8, and then from 8 to 24, you're shooting your rocket launcher.
Yeah, it's going to be tough between the boarding shotgun light rocket launcher and the paramedic specialist one. But hey, Helots, fishmen.
I was just going to say, but they're availability 3, so you can have all
both.
3.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see a wild parrot too. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Fishman.
I mean, 27 points is not $1 million.
No. But the half SWC on everything.
Still one wound. Helots. So we talked about the Libertos, and now the PanO version is the Helot militia and Varuna division, which I find funny because, of course, they are. That's where they're from. So the first thing on the profile is limited camouflage / decoy. Usually when there's a slash, like an Odalisque with her 360 visor / Sixth Sense.
You have to choose
You have to choose one.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that that's what this means, and you can choose your fishmen to either have limited camouflage like the Libertos do, or decoy where you can put out the 2 markers that don't move, if we're understanding that correctly, like a static holo projector, something like this.
Ooh, that's really interesting.
And so you just leave them there non-mobile. They are irregular, so they're going to be inexpensive, right? So you just leave them there not doing anything. One of those 3 markers is the actual Helot. So you got to write it down. 0 armor, 0 BTS, 1 wound, but they do have shock immunity.
That's good.
And so if you bring a PanO medic, you can try and fix them. They have aquatic terrain, of course, and then the most interesting thing, neurocinetics.
Yeah, this is something the Libertos don't have.
Which I think pairs wonderfully with that decoy if it
Yeah.
works. So I'm not going to move them. I'm going to let you try and choose and then attack you with my full burst.
Exactly, right? Which one's the one?
In ARO. And so, yeah, available profiles. The cheapest is 9 points. Does cost half an SWC because it is armed with submachine gun and light rocket launcher. So I can see the use of the decoy or the use of limited camouflage on this one. But neurocinetics, you are getting burst 1 in the active turn.
Yeah, they're totally arrow pieces.
So the surprise shot for limited camouflage, right?
It's kind of like, mark, mark, mark.
I mean, that burst 1 light rocket launcher at the right time, though, who knows? Shell game with your Zulu Cobras, because now you have multiple regular camo markers in PanO. What? The next cheapest, 13 points, no SWC, shock marksman rifle.
That's a really good profile with neurocinetics.
Dude.
Yeah.
Neurocinetic shock marksman rifle.
Yeah. So good.
8 to 24, 0. Now, they are only ballistic skill 11. But you paid 13 points for them, bro.
Right?
It's okay. Yeah, that's super good. Next expensive is 14 points, 1 SWC, which I think you're going to be totally SWC starved and maybe not want to waste them on ballistic skill 11 things, even if they are neurocinetics. Red Fury.
Yeah, again, it's basically a shock Molotov, so you're getting 1 extra dice on the shock marksman rifle. So I agree with you. Totally like the marksman rifle over the Red Fury. Yeah, the 1 dice, and you're like, well, I'm only ballistic skill 11, so it does have its space, but as you've gone through, this is going to be the SWC faction, so
It feels that way, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can have a multi-sniper rifle.
Hey, that's not bad either for neurocinetics.
1.5 SWC is the killer on this.
Yeah.
At ballistic skill 11. 17 points isn't all that much, but just to have the thing outranging the enemy's TR bots on turn 1, and
that's where the limited camo would come in really handy, because you get your surprise shot. You get 1 shot, but if you're outranging them and you're in cover, usually
they're at -9.
Yeah, because they don't have mimicism.
range, cover, and surprise.
So they get most of the time they're getting 4 shots on 2s, and you're getting your 1 shot at regular
At 11.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly, I wouldn't even take that because they're always going to roll a 2 in that situation.
Just my
Or
luck.
you roll a 19 and they roll a 1, and you're like, oh, of course I would.
But even with that, like, so with decoy, do they? So they probably idle, forcing you to ARO,
Choose,
right?
yeah.
And so I guess if you ARO, the decoys would probably disappear, and then they can shoot at the right one. But if they have to move into position to see you, then
It's going to be interesting. I want to see what the rule does because my mind's doing the same thing. It's like, well, if it's a decoy,
I'm trying to decide between the limited camouflage and the three decoys.
we need to see how decoy works because it's almost seems like a non-factor if you have neurosynetics because they're going to move out. They're like, oh well, I know that has neurosynetics, so they'll either move around it a lot or they're just going to like move. You have to show me who it is.
Yeah, take it out of the equation. You're just like in a corner, really far away from the enemy's TR bot. And so, sure, it goes to shoot you, but if it's at negative for range and negative for cover, it's still at -6. When you're at +3 for range, -3 for cover, you're on straight ballistic skill.
Yeah.
At burst 2 now. So, but I think shock marksman rifle probably my favorite for.
Do they have forward deployment on there? I didn't hear if you said
They
that.
do not.
Oh, so these ones can't infiltrate. Okay.
But, 13 points. I mean, submachine gun light rocket launcher, that's horrific in ARO at full burst.
Yeah. So you can get if you kind of want to dedicate orders to them on turn 1 to get them where they need to be.
It's the price, man. It's the price. You may spend the order and blow them up, and they do nothing. But okay, that was 13 points.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to dedicate some time to get them up there, but it's like you don't even have to spend an order.
A lot of times they're going to wreck some stuff, and you'd be like, "How many points that guy?"
Right,
9. Right.
And I like the neurosynetics. So
I think
you
that
can put
should be their voice.
Right.
So you could put them in suppression.
I'm
but
Helot Bob.
You could put them in suppression, but I actually like the neurosynetics better because you get full range of your weapons, you get your pluses, and you have all bands covered. Especially that submachine gun light rocket launcher, you have from 0 to 24 inches at +3. You're not taking the -3 for them hitting you, but I'll take that to get the +3 at 11. And then the shock marksman rifle. Yeah, it's a killer range, man. I mean,
he is the perfect second combat group type of guy too, because you don't want to spend orders on him. He's irregular.
Just make sure he gets to where he needs to be.
So he can be in that second combat group with like your baggage bots.
That is an AC2 unit cover. And what's the other one? Capture and protect. Is that still a thing this season? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so there's another one.
You would know if you weren't in Mexico during Armageddon.
Yeah, I know, right? So sad I had to miss that.
Oh, wait, no, we played Power Pack, not Captain.
It doesn't matter. But even Power Pack, like missions like that, those are where you don't need to have infiltrators to cover what's going to score you points. Like, those are gold. I got 13 points, and I have everything up to 24 inches covered with that 13-point submachine gun and light rocket launcher neurosynetics. Yeah.
Love me some neurosynetic shock marksman rifle. Holy cow.
You can take up to 3. You can take it up to 3. So it's at 39 points. You can spend 39 points on 3 models covering your 6 per se.
Super good.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to be enough Pano for now. Let's jump into the brief combined army video.
Oh, it's so funny.
And we have a new Morat aggression force sectorial army chart. Since you're on army, you should check to see if it's actually live yet.
All right. I think I checked earlier and I didn't see it. So let us.
The way that Acontecimento went live already. Right. So the biggest thing for me that I noticed when they popped the sectorial chart up for the Morat aggression force is that Bit and Kiss are no longer there.
So I don't think it's updated because that's the first thing on here.
They're still on there?
Yeah. No way, they're getting rid of that in Morat?
Well, according to this chart, there's no Bit and Kiss.
That would make sense, though.
So if they update Army and... for example, just go to Sogarat. Go to Sogarat and see if it has fireteam options.
Harry's.
See, then Army is not updated. Because...
Cornac and up to 2 Sogarats.
Right. Which was a thing that you'd run, and it was fun. It's not always super effective, especially with the proliferation of hacking and EM weapons. It could get punked easy. But, no, Sogarats have no fireteam options in the new chart.
Ooh,
So we're not updated. Okay.
Yeah, we're not updated yet.
However, he did say in the video, one Suryat can join a Vanguard Corps.
So that's fun.
So you've got your... I won't call them inexpensive, but you're in the faction, they are your least expensive.
Yeah.
Morats with a guy that can actually shoot a gun.
Yeah, so this is basically your orc joining your regulars.
That's exactly it.
This is your orc joining your regulars. Ballistic Skill 13, they can join a corps of Vanguard, but now you have a Ballistic Skill 13 model. All
Ballistic
up
Skill
is
16, Armor 4 with 2 wounds, firing his, HMG.
Heavy rocket launcher.
Or his heavy rocket launcher at burst
Vulcan
3.
shotgun if you want to run a really fast, moving up in your face type of deal, but yeah.
And there is a new Suryat profile, a new loadout under the Suryat profile that has tactical sense. It's the HMG Tinbot version, and so that's one of the ones that will get that irregular order that he can only spend on himself.
So here's the thing. It's like, when that drops, it's like, if you're making... And I want to see how with points and how it works with points. It's like, if you're going to make the core team, kind of might want to leave that guy at home. But then again, maybe you want to take him, because what if you go second and they wipe out half your fire team and you're going to be running Rambo anyway? And you're like, I'm going to leave. Just start hauling butt. And then once the fire team's broken, you get to use your extra order. So, there's a couple ways you could run with that. It's going to be interesting once we get all of the data and info to make assessments on that. But
so I always love the Rodox, right? Mimetism, and they could form a fire team core. They're going to get a Harry's option. Harris?
Oh, that's so good.
Harry's?
We like to call them Chris Harris's.
No, those are the ones that deploy an inch farther than normal.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so it shows a Harry's option for Rodox. So now you can take your Morat Vanguard core with a Suryat at the +3 ballistic skill as its, as its leader, right? Doing the work, and then still have a Harry's of Rodox. So you're still getting your burst 3 mimetism, burst 2 mimetism missile launcher. And then, more fire teams.
Yeah.
More fire teams, good fire teams. Rack-to-racks not only are becoming wild cards.
Oh, that's so much better than what they were.
Remember, rack-to-racks are the butlers. They're the ones that, dive through the trenches and avoid incoming fire to bring their masters whiskey. Rack-to-rack Morat Sergeant Majors will get wild cards so they can join any fire team. Okay? So they could join your Yaogats or your Morat Vanguards or your Kurgat Harrys or, right?
Yeah.
Your Gakis and Pradas core fire teams with Osnats.
That's the thing is with the wild card, it's going to be really fun to see what people use that for, because sometimes you can get into the blinders, which happens to me quite often. Get so used to
and it's
one
a specialist operative, so...
You're like, wait, what? In a Gaki's? What? What?
It's going to be left behind pretty quick. But
Yeah, but still, like, the wild card.
But not only is he getting wild card, he's getting NCO as well. So he can use the lieutenant order as a regular order if he's part of a fire team. We're hoping that means he can use that regular order as part of the fire team without breaking out. And it's an interesting dynamic if you are with Kornak Gazarat because of Strategos, right? Because that lieutenant order just becomes a regular order.
Oh, yeah.
So now his NCO ability in a Raktarak doesn't matter because...
Yeah, because you really wouldn't do that. Like maybe take the non-NCO version.
But Suryat Core, Harry's, and Duo. Kornak Gazarat just says special. And
so he'll probably be able to join.
Well, he used to... Right, he used to have Harris as a native ability, and then he could join. He could join 2 Suryats or 2 Sogorats with his Harry's ability. Now it's not listed as Harry's under Kornak. So I always used to like. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I always used to like to take. Does that make sense?
Kinda. Sounds good to me right now.
Kornak with a Suryat like heavy rocket launcher or HMG, and then a Raktarak as a Harry's team. And then Kornak is the Harry's guy, so he doesn't have to pay points for it. And the Raktarak can join any Harry's of Suryats, right? And then the Suryat is getting the +1 burst on his HMG or his heavy rocket launcher, and it was a cool little Harry's team that proved to be pretty efficient and powerful to me. And then getting the extra order but now it looks like that's not going to happen because it doesn't say Harry's on Kornak anymore.
Yeah, but I wonder if he'll have that rule of like you can join any fire team of blah and blah, so that could work. And then with your Raktaraks being wild cards,
but then you're forced to take the Suryat Harry's guy who doesn't have, he's got a combi rifle, so
yeah,
so you lose a little points efficiency from the Raktarak because now you can't take him because you still want to take the Suryat that has the good weapon. Anyway,
interesting. Let's see how that works then.
Yeah, and the chart doesn't say, so he said on the video, Raktaraks get wild card. But all it says under Raktarak is special. So perhaps Kornak also gets wild card.
That would be awesome.
Because all it says for him is special. But so it's a wait and see on what will happen with the... Because we get this sectorial chart that tells you what's in the sectorial, and you can see that Bit and Kiss is not in it. And it tells you what type of fire teams. It doesn't have the specifics of the fire team, and so you're just like drooling at, foaming at the mouth, trying waiting to see what they'll be able to do. So, yeah, but a Suryat profile with tactical sense. It doesn't need to be in a fire team. It's a solid profile on its own, and for Ramboing purposes, if you're going to go on your turn 1 murder rampage, you get that extra order. And keep shooting things with your HMG until you're dead. Because your core team are Gakis or Praetas.
It's funny you said that because I keep looking at these profiles because I'm looking at Wildcard and I'm like, man, that could be funny if somebody kind of did this, even though, like you said, they get left behind really fast. Man, they really need to re-sculpt the Gakis and Praetas and make it a bigger box of like 3 and 3. Because
or just make one model.
Oh, there you go.
And say it's Gakis / Praetas and just use them as whatever.
Well, technically, you would
box
only need
4.
a box of 4.
Well, maybe make it a box of 5 and throw your Osnat in there.
Another Osnat.
Although Osnat doesn't have any fire teams listed. She better have core. If she's going to join Gakis and Praetas.
They're not listed as Praetas in there, still listed as core?
Osnat, Morat, Hunting Regiment, availability to fire team, dash. That's got to be a mistake.
Yeah. Because that's part of one of the things is like, okay.
So, Anyway, so not a lot on the combined army, but the little bit we got is
Updated.
Morats getting changes. But I think for the real changes, we have to wait to see the actual
Book.
list of the fire teams. Because otherwise it's just a list that's omitting Bit and Kiss, which makes me super sad.
Right. I mean, it makes sense, though, because it's like, why would she... I think she'd be a little
Yes.
out of place in Morats. She's like, I'm just here to hack stuff. We're like, we kill. Why are you yelling at me?
Remember, Yaugat Hacker is their most efficient...
Oh, man.
Yaugat Hacker is their most efficient ITS-10 specialist.
I mean, yeah.
And by efficient, I mean can do the most.
Yeah. But
4-2, probably not efficient. Anyway, so combined army, Morats, really. And oh my God, Kornak can now join a fire team of Suryats. Holy cow, what?
that was so funny.
Sorry. Oh, right, and then the little Morats below,
They're like, what
maybe
is
this human will know. Nope, he's an idiot.
So that was good. I love Carlos.
So we had a 64-player tournament a couple weekends ago called Arizona Armageddon here, and out of those 64 people, 0 played Jing and 0 played Imperial Service.
How did that happen?
So it's really a good time, I guess, for us to start talking about the Jing section of the new book and the Invincible Army. So we've got a lot of new names, a lot of new kids on the block
Hanging tough.
for Invincible Army. We have the Zhensha Armored Reconnaissance Regiment. We have the Liu Jing Jump Infantry, the Dao Ying Operative Control Unit, and the Moang Troops, and the Hai Dao Special
I was
Support
saying, what is
Group.
the Hai Dao? You're like, I don't know. I can't find them because they're Hai Dao.
And then pointed out that from the Invincible Army artwork that was circulating, people also saw that there were Zhanshi and Guijia and Haktao in the artwork as well.
Which makes sense.
And lo and behold,
Other than Zhanshi.
Zhanshi, right, didn't expect
Did not expect that.
unarmored dudes in the Invincible Army, but Zhanshi are availability 4, can form core fire teams, and the Shangji Invincibles, who have not yet received a new model, and that old one is old. They are a wild card and can be in any fire team. So this is another case of four cheap Zhanshi with one Shangji main gunner to lead your attack.
This army is a bane of my existence of saying names.
So not all of the heavy infantry made it into the Invincible Army, right? Just because you're heavy infantry doesn't mean you're in the Invincible Army. So there's no Dao Fei. Instead, we get the new Zhensha.
Yeah.
There's no Xian, which...
Ooh, that's a good point.
So he's an Imperial agent,
Ah, there you go.
right? So he's
Yeah.
part of ISS. So there's the Crane rank and the Pheasant rank and the...
Let's say with this symbol, it makes sense. He doesn't have the yellow.
What is
or black and red.
Xian? Eagle?
Actually, the Shin is it's just the red.
No,
and then-
because there's Crane, there's Pheasant. The Zhanying is a different kind of bird, and the Xian is, I
I
think...
don't know what a Shin is. It's just they have a kanji symbol for their center.
Well, it's probably not kanji because that's Japanese, but...
Or again, language.
Anyway, some kind of... Oh, it's a benevolent spirit.
There you go.
Promoting good in the world. That is a downright lie.
That's a downright lie. But it does make sense with the symbols and the unit symbols. They usually will go into the same
Right.
faction per se, and yeah, those are all the black and red and white. Although Sun Si is red and yellow, and
So-
I didn't.
He's not in there.
No, you know what's funny though? I'm gonna
The
digress. for
leader
1
of the
second.
military cannot lead what
the
is
Invincibles.
essentially the actual military.
So in Arizona, I don't know if you ever heard this, Tom, because you moved here later in life. When we would go hiking in the desert, There's coral snakes, and there were milk snakes. You don't see them; they're very rare.
Sound like snipe.
Right? No, this is a true thing. Because one is poisonous and one is not. And the way my great-grandma told me it was red against black is a friend of Jack, but red against yellow, it killed a fellow. Because they were all red, black, and yellow, but it depended on where their stripes were. So red against black, friend of Jack. So ISS is like the weak version, but red against yellow killed a fellow. Like Invincibles are here to bring the pain train. And that's a little bit of Arizona knowledge for you guys.
So let's start with the Jing jump infantry. These are AD combat jump heavy. They're listed as heavy infantry. They are regular. They have a 4/4 move like most heavy infantry. Mm-hmm. They have armor 3 like grunts. And they have 1 wound.
Like grunts?
Like grunts. But they also have no wound incapacitation.
Not like grunts.
And due to their bioimmunity skill, they are essentially shock immune as well.
Ooh, that's right, because they have bioimmunity, which is actually a little bit better than just having shock.
Well, you're never going to bring them back from the dead. There's that.
Yeah,
because when they're dead, they're dead. They have kinematical level 1.
Nice.
So when they dodge 3 inches. And then they are the ones that have explode level X. The meteorites, the shooting stars crashing into Earth and detonating anybody foolish enough to stand close together.
God, and you could take 4 of them.
I mean, you could.
But you could take 4 of them.
How many orders in your first pool? 6.
But if you're going first, that's all you need. You literally get to drop 4 missiles on fools. Just doing it. That's a lot of area to cover.
The cheapest one is 32 points.
Yeah.
Which puts them in line with other drop troops, really. And has a boarding shotgun. Which is great for the up-close work. Whatever doesn't die to your explosion is now in a nice big line for you to boarding shotgun. And then there is a Spitfire version, which is 39 points, but 2 full SWC. But ballistic skill 13 and 2-ish wounds, right? 1 plus no wounding cap. Could definitely get some murder work done there. Man, even making it 1.5 would make it a little more palatable. But then there are 2 specialist options. And you have one that's just a specialist operative.
Push buttons.
But also has decharges.
Nice.
So can blow up your sabotage building after landing right next to it. And
blowing up anybody that's in the vicinity of that you need to.
He's armed with a multi-rifle. And he's 38 points, no SWC. Also 38 points, but half an SWC is the assault hacker version, also with a boarding shotgun.
Well, that's really good, though. I like that one. Especially when we did our assessment. I was really digging the AD assault hackers because of how many classifieds they can do, especially if they were heavy or medium infantry. But now this one explodes. The only thing about anybody out there listening going, this is crazy. It sounds like it's OP. It used to be, but now we have this awesome rule that lets you dodge change face for any templates that hit you. So even if you do have like a full fire team and somebody drops this on you, if you can dodge change face, makes it a little less scary, but still scary nonetheless.
Nonetheless,
there you go. Thank you.
So what was when the Cascuda would jump? Because we don't know very many details, but when the Cascuda would jump, what was its damage?
I believe it was still 13 because it was still explode damage. But the scary thing was, like, I would have to pull up old Paradiso. The scary thing is it was a freaking tag that had AD combat jump. So it would come in, it would blow up. But see, back then you couldn't dodge change face. So it would come in, and if you didn't have line of fire,
No, but you could dodge it -6. You could dodge explode. So the rule for explode was you could dodge at -6.
Maybe it was the -6. Because at that point you're just like, I'm gonna fail almost every time anyway. Because you.
But
almost
imagine
did.
the Quang Shi blowing up, and you're like, well, I'm gonna dodge, but
-6.
yeah.
But see, I don't even think they had the template weapon out of line of fire in N2. So I think if it landed behind you, you just had to take the damage and survive. And if you survived, you could turn around. Is I think how that used to work back in the day. And that's what made it scary. Because there was none of this, well, it's a template weapon out of my line of fire. Because all template weapons were dodge -6, even if you had line of fire. And if they hit you out of line of fire, you had to survive the attack to turn around. Because there was nothing that could help in your back arc back in the day when the Cascuda was around. So that's what made it scary. Because if they hit you in your back arc, you just have to take the damage. And then you had this tag there. And it was like disgusting. But nobody bought the model because it was horrible. And then when
Hey, a lot of people really like it.
No, I was like, once you brought it on the table, people were like, either hate it even more because it was so bad. So, with this new one, with the new rules and the ones we're more accustomed with, it's still a really, really good tactic, but not as bad as it used to be.
It used to be 13 shock.
13 shock. But you couldn't dodge if you didn't have line of fire to it.
It just says the detonation caused by this special skill can be dodged by passing a physique -6 roll. Says it in the explode rules. In the
Really?
N2 explode rules.
So maybe you could do that then.
Regardless.
templates.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's
it's going to be
back in the
13 shock. That would be super brutal.
Are Quang Shi now shock?
I don't know.
Nah. So because I thought they were, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like the same thing as the Quang Shi. It hits when you land, and it doesn't hurt the user that's using it. Because like Quang Shi explode themselves, like they have bombs on
Right.
them. And then the explode level X is basically the crater it caused by its landing gear. I want to look at it as Thor from Ragnarok, where you land and you basically shoot out electrical discharge. And then Led Zeppelin plays. It's like dun 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 dun.
Explode level 1. This is explode level X, right? But explode level 1 is damage 13 shock.
Yeah. And that's all that's in there, right?
Yeah, so
Probably the same thing, but it just doesn't hurt the user.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see when we get the full rule for.
Yeah, we're speculating. But guess what? Dun, 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 dun. That scene it just keeps running from my head, like through my mind.
Zhencha, Armored Reconnaissance Regiment, has a poncho, so you know what that means.
Tac poncho.
It's got camouflage.
Yeah.
Camouflage Infiltrator, right? It has a logo very much like the Guilang.
I was going to say it, but with like the crossbow.
Regular. Also armor 3, like the Drop Troop. Also 1 wound. Also no wound in
I
cap.
think that's going to be a theme here.
So
You either have 2 wounds or 1 wound, no wound in cap.
and he's between 34 and 41 points, which armor 3, 1 wound is something that Aleph pays 10 points for with their proxies and their forward observer
Stupid proxies.
and his no wound incapacitation, and he's got a better ballistic skill. 'Cause these guys
What
are only
other
12.
what other abilities do they have though?
So camouflage infiltration, climbing plus,
Okay, that's a plus.
multi-terrain,
That's a plus.
so they can get around.
Yeah.
4/4, but no wound incapacitation with the armor 3, 1 wound, BTS 3, only ballistic skill 12, physique 13.
Okay.
And they are all specialists. There's 2 forward
Okay.
observers. One has a boarding shotgun and decharges. He's 37 points. The other one has a submachine gun, a DEP, and anti-personnel mines, and he's 34.
Okay.
And then there's an assault hacker who has a boarding shotgun and nothing else. He's 0.5 SWC and 41 points. But it seems like this is the camo infiltrating specialist that you need for your Invincible Army in the 34 to 41 point range. Remember, armor 3, 1 wound plus no wound incapacitation BS 12 with a single submachine gun. Remember that Aleph guy, the Mark 5 forward observing proxy is 10 points for armor 3, 1 wound, no wound incapacitation, 2 submachine guns, and EM grenades.
For your heavy infantry army.
And he's a medium infantry, so his forward deployment 1 this season becomes forward deployment 2, and he is not vulnerable to all of the things that heavy infantry are vulnerable to.
Dude, that is stupid. This is why proxies are dumb and need to be removed next time. It's just dumb. It's dumb.
I mean,
how are you going to charge 36 points for something?
He doesn't have camo.
Oh my gosh, it's camo. Give me a break here.
He doesn't infiltrate.
Come on.
He doesn't technically infiltrate.
Oh, that's funny.
And
you technically do have to take 2 of them.
Compare points across factions.
You can't. But technically you have to take 2 of them, so they're technically like 20-something points, but they only generate 1 order.
Okay, so if I take the heavy rocket launcher Mark IV and the forward observing submachine gunner for 10, I've spent 30 points. I can't get a Gensha for that. And now I've got a heavy rocket launcher that's armor 5 with 2 wounds and blizzard skill 13 and the forward observer whose forward deployment currently level 2.
We digress. Stupid proxies.
But hey, it's a heavy infantry that infiltrates. So that's cool for your hackers.
It's cool, actually, compared to every other faction. So, Aleph and Toha, are they starting to become the easy button?
I don't know.
Kind of, I think so. So, if you play those factions, don't be... I'm just kidding, guys. I actually really am stoked to play the OSS. Is it the OSSSSS, the operation subsection of the SSS?
Go home, Cape, you're drunk.
Not really.
Invincible Army sectorial chart. We don't know all the full details of what can form what teams or anything, right? We didn't get that. We just got the hint. Like, Zhanchi's can form core, and Shang-Chi's are wild cards. And
Zhuyang, those terracottas, I've been waiting for that.
So
core, Hari, special, super stoked.
Shang-Chi show up as core, Harry's, and special. The special is probably the wild card thing. I'm excited to get a new Shang-Chi model.
Yeah.
But okay, so we have Zhanchi. Then we have Dao Ying Operative Control Unit. And this is the one from the dossier that has like the high heels and is kind of skinny for heavy infantry.
Oh, yeah.
But Operative Control Unit seems to me like it's going to be some sort of command and control heavy infantry. So might have those rules like
counterintelligence
maybe? Or advanced command. Or,
that would be cool.
Right. So yeah, Sunze is not here, but maybe we get his Strategos here, and maybe it's your lieutenant option, right? Who knows what else it might have? There's the Haidao Special Support Group with the special designation for fire team. We don't know what they do. Nope. The Lujing Jumper Infantry we talked about, Zhuyang Invincibles, those are your terracotta soldiers. They have core, Haris, and special as well. I wonder if a Zhuyang can join Zhanchi's.
I hope so. I mean, they have the special, and
to
those
be
are
your point gunner and much cheaper.
I would say those are your cheap units, because those guys are anywhere between like 27 on average to 35. They jump up to like 39 and 36 for the heavy guys, but that's your armor 3, 2 wounds.
There's the Shang-Chi we talked about. But then Yan Huo. These are your super giant hyper rapid magnetic cannon guy, your neurosynetics missile launcher guy.
Does it say special by them?
They have duo. That's not exciting. What's exciting is it says special.
Does it say special by them?
What's special? Who can they join? Can we get a burst 6 weapon? Are we going to get a burst 6 weapon?
Could you imagine having a Yan Huo in a 5-member fire team?
Can I have a burst 6 HRMC at +3 ballistic skill?
Or a burst 3 missile launcher because it has double?
You can take 1 Hacktow only.
Oh, man.
And the points agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
But you can take up to 3.
Kip agrees with that.
You can take up to 3 Mowang. the big Silhouette 5 guys, and they have duo. Grigia, the tag, obviously we know what that is, has, you can take up to 2. Hulong Shock Troopers, no idea. Sound like a close combat group. Shock Troopers, no idea what those guys are. Idea. Nothing from the videos. They can duo, though, we know that.
Yep.
The Zhensha we talked about. The Zhanshi, Yisheng, and Gongcheng, those are the doctors and engineers.
And a new character.
Tai Sheng, new character. A Zhu Yang Invincible's NCO. He's got NCO in his title. You imagine he's going to have the rule. Or
Super cool.
Or she could be, I guess. I don't know.
Is it a Rushi?
No, it's a Zhu Yang.
I'm just kidding because you said he or she, and then the next thing is Rushi.
So terracotta character with special probably can join any, or counts as a Zhu Yang for fire team composition is probably that special. Sun Bei. Remember when Sun Bei came out to visit us over at Empire Games?
Yeah.
His forum name was Sun Bei. That's the missile remote. And it has specials, so it's probably going to join fire teams much like you can in Drew's and whatnot. Yeah,
exactly.
Where you have the missile bot fire team option, the FTO bot. But then there's
interesting.
There's the Yaopu Panguilang, and that is your baggage remotes for Jing. So you have an Evo Hacker, you have the Minesweeper 8-point, right? Great for area control because these all count as 20 points more than they actually count. But here's what, so they have listed.
Doing the thinking.
Here's what we're talking. Here's what we're talking about. They have fire team special. If this is not a typo, that might mean like the Sun Bei, they can join fire teams.
Yeah.
The third option for a Panguilang is a total reaction combi rifle.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. So, yeah, I don't know why I did that voice.
Me neither.
Yeah, no, it's so bad. So if it is a total reaction combi rifle, and it is part of a fire team, there's nothing against the burst of the total reaction going against that. It's only suppression fire, right? You can't go into suppression fire, but this is a skill that gives it bonus. So what you're saying is if this is not a typo, there's a good chance that you could have a total reaction remote.
It's only a combi rifle.
It's only a combi rifle, but still, that's pretty good for medium. But potentially getting a burst 4.
An arrow
yes.
with +3 ballistic skill. So,
and if you have a hacker somewhere else that just buffed that remote,
the special might simply say the Minesweeper version may be included.
True.
So we don't know, but
yeah, we don't know. It could be only one version.
Because it says special, the speculation is out there, right?
Goodness gracious. Yeah, because some of these, it's only one version. Like we've seen that in like Starco, like it's only one version of this, and they have their specific version that can add into a fire team. But it's like, if it's a Minesweeper, a Evo Hacker, and a Total Reaction Bot, if you're trying to maximize firepower, I could see him doing like the something version Total Reaction Bot that can go in there, because that'd be kind of freaking nice. A burst. Could you imagine a burst 4 Total Reaction Bot in your fire team? And I'm laughing.
Guarding your own AC2?
Yeah. And it's +3 to ballistic skill. And if you buffed it, they can't get cover and it's shock. That would be amazing. I hope that happens, because then I actually will play
this. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
There are 5 troop types on here that we don't know anything about what they do. So there's definitely a lot, despite the videos, there's definitely a lot still to be revealed. Maybe they'll be revealed Thursday and Friday between the time we've recorded this and the time that it goes live. But for right now, there are a lot of questions and excitement, and
we still got 2 more days.
2 more days, and then a month before the book, right? End of November.
By the time you heard this, they'll be out. But from when we're recording, we still have 2 more days of excitement, and then a full month.
So we're really excited for the third offensive to see what the story brings and what bad shape humanity is in now that Combined Army is expanding their assault on Paradiso. And so pre-order it so you get the free miniature. lots of exciting things, and as many exciting things that were shown, there are as many questions yet still to be answered. So they're not spoiling the entire book. Can't wait for it to come out and see all of the cool stuff.
Conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
That is going to do it for episode 203. Thank you for listening to our geeky, excited exclamations about what's been shown for the third offensive book coming out. Remember, it is MayaCast Masterclass Quarter 4, and the theme is... Kip doesn't remember.
I forgot already.
Kip doesn't
I forgot.
remember.
No, don't erase that.
I'm not erasing it. I am not erasing it. The theme is, I was trying to throw it to you.
We did it last week, and I was like, don't forget this. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. Oh, Xenotech! Yeah, it's Xenotech, guys. I've actually had somebody already show me their Xenotech. And it was one of our local guys, but he's not entering the Masterclass. And I was like, you should have saved that because it was Professor Willett. And he made his own Xenotech of himself in his school pictures where he wore a Spartan helmet over his large beard and suit jacket, which was hilarious. But yes, so go be like Professor Willett and create your own Xenotech.
It is a painting contest.
It is a painting contest, not a conversion contest.
But we do expect several conversions to pop up. If you just want to paint one of the civilians, that's fine. But yeah, whatever you're using for your Xenotech, and may his name be cursed forever. 2 objective points because I couldn't roll under an 11. Stupid. Yeah, I really, that was really, it was on me. It was my own.
I still haven't played with this.
It was my own tactical mishap. No, I lost 2 objective points because I couldn't roll an 11 or less. Okay, so show us your Xenotechs, please.
Right.
And
I've seen some cool ones so far at the store that aren't.
So it could be a bootleg model or, a civilian model, whatever you're using. If you're doing a cool conversion, that's awesome. Paint it up real nice. And the more entries we get, the more prizes we give away. Most of the prizes are random lottery from random.org. So only the best painted, the best in show will receive the personalized engraved MayaCast Master Glass. Everybody else has an equal shot to win a random prize.
It's my favorite style of paint contest, man.
So it's one single model. It's a Silhouette 2 because the holidays are coming up. We know you're going to get busy, so work on it earlier and get her done before the end of the year and before the holidays creep up and sap all of your time. So it's a before picture because we want them to be new, not shown on the internet previously. We want them to be new for the contest, so a before picture would be great. And then 4 pictures of your final product labeled with your name. Send all of that in one single email to tom@mayacast.com.
And kip@mayacast.com.
And then we will put up a gallery on Facebook for everybody to enjoy. The current gallery is from Quarter 3, Heroes and Villains. There are amazing entries, and you should go check it out if you have not already, and make sure you like all your favorite entries over on the MayaCast Facebook page. So thank you for listening. Go out and pre-order your third offensive book, and we will see you in 3 weeks. There will be no episode for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, when are you going to be back?
I'm going to be in Israel for the next 2 weeks. So the next 2 Fridays, there will be no episode. So we'll be back after that.
Man, that's like one of our longest breaks ever, right?
It is, I think, our single longest break of all time. No MayaCast for the next 2 weeks, unless I leave the recording out and Scourge Studios decides he wants to record something while he's taking care of Vino for me. So
it's going to be November 2nd is the next episode?
No, the week after that.
November 9th.
That's the next episode.
Wow.
Yeah, the next two Fridays, no episode. So, but yeah, thank you for listening. And we'll be back in 3 Fridays with a fresh new episode. But until then, make sure you get out there and support your local game stores.
To find out how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/MayaCast.
You can find us online at www.MayaCast.com.
We are on Facebook at facebook.com/InfinityMayaCast.
Follow at Maya Podcast on Twitter.
Join the MayaCast forum group on Facebook.
And as always, you can email us at tom@mayacast.com.
And Kip at MayaCast.com.
Thank you.